Greetings, technology enthusiasts. I am Chandrahas and I am delighted to be here with you representing CyberBrainer. Do you not believe that the technology sector is advancing at an unprecedented rate, making this an opportune moment to acquire the skills that will facilitate your progress? With CyberBrainer, we are empowering you to take control of your own future. At CyberBrainer, we do not merely impart your interests. We assert that information is power, yet it is the application of knowledge that distinguishes you. Our courses are meant to equip you with essential skills, whether you are pursuing data science, understanding artificial intelligence, or delving into cybersecurity. Let us commence the session and seize the future today. Thank you.
This document transformation does. Let me check if there is any. But yes, we have our own. We have seen. Now let me open up MS Paint. We have seen connectors, right? In connectors, we have seen generic connectors, which was CCW core connector worker. And then we saw also package connectors, which was nothing but MX, MasterCard and Visa stuff, right? Then we saw DT, right? Now, then these are the two types, which are the connectors and DT. Now we will see the. Also, we have seen one more, which was report as a service, right? Once we did that, custom reports that also can be shared as a web service, right? That was report as a service. It was another type. Now, to cover this, let's see another one, which is an overview of Workday Web Services. For that, right, you can open your Google and just write Workday Web Services, right? And the first link which will come up is a web servicer, all Workday Web Services publicly available. Now on this page, you see here the first column is service, which defines the functional area. And then the description of each functional area, like say benefit administration, right? The benefit administration web service contain operations that expose Workday HCM business process benefits related. Compensation has compensation related. And financial management has financial related web services. Say if I have to open this one. Here we have different web services. You see here as part of financial management. There are get web services, right? Like get accounts, get accounting adjustment, get account set, get this, get budgets, right? Get, as the name says, it is for fetching data from Workday. Right. And then we have import. Import is importing data into Workday. Again, we have put. Put is also for entering data into Workday. And then what else do we have? We have submit, right? Submit also does the same stuff. Let me, if I have to put it here, Workday Web Services. One is get, which is for fetching data from Workday. Right. And then we have put slash submit slash import, right? This is for loading data into Workday. Now you will say, how will we know? Close this one. and come to this part, right? In this one, just randomly, I want from you guys, just say anything that what kind of data do you want to load in Workday, right? Anything. First basic thing is anything. If you want to load into Workday, web service is the thing with which we do it. Even though we are using connectors, say inbound connectors, which we used right in an Amex, MasterCard and Visa for importing the credit card transactions. That connector also at the backend where Workday has written the code. They are also using web services. Even though if we use EIBs or whatever, they also at the backend uses web services. Right. Now here if say there is a third party system which wants to get data from Workday. Right. Now say that system says give us all your suppliers, whatever suppliers you have in Workday. Send us that. What we do is, let me go back here. At the top you have this operations directory. What it will do is, if you click on that, it will open up all the web services that are there in Workday, right? The urgent 3 and this is the release which is the latest Workday releases 2022 R1. Now, since we want the supplier one, I'll just search supplier and just keep on checking. Cancel supplier invoice. Check basic supplier. This is this one, which is this service operation. We'll get basic supplier that can be used as both tags only. This one. Let me search next. Or let me write get underscore. Here is it. Right? Get supply. Right? This service operation gets suppliers on a specified criteria and all that. Now all these web services are SOAP based web service. Right? But the one which we did using the custom report and we exposed it, that was the REST web service. Now the difference between REST and SOAP is REST. You will get just one URL which you can put it in your browser and just call it. Right? You don't need any other extra software to install. You will get a link, put it in your browser, give your credentials, and then you're done. You will get the data, but for this one, all these Workday web services are SOAP web service. If you click on that, it has a request and it has a response format. If I click on this XML, this is the request message. What we have to do is, if you have to call this web service, then there are these parameters which you need to enter values. Like, and Workday has written what are optional, what is like. If you see here, these are all optional. Right. In the comments it has written, this is optional, optional, optional and all that. You can remove all that as it is not mandatory. The main thing is when you will give this to a third party system, they should be able to populate this and call it. Right. This is an advanced thing. As of now, as for this course, what do you need to know is that where do we find the web services? And how do we call it? What is a request? What's the response? Right? This is how the response looks like. And this page has the details of all the parameters, description. If you go to the service directory, I will say have this page saved, bookmark this one. And then you will have all that. Can you show me like, since you mentioned that this is SAP, right? We can use this to stop USDL. And then we can do the request response, right? Correct? Right. For that is this public. You can search a task called public web service. This is the one. And then you have this absence management and all that stuff. Security web service OS deal. Right? What you have to do is say you want to expose the supplier. One right. I will go to the operations directory. I will come here, search for that, get underscore supplier, and see this is the one, and this one comes under resource management. This is the web service one, and you see here ABOSTL is also there. You can directly copy, you get the ABOSTL here. Or if you know that resource management, you can come to this task of public web services, search for resource management, filter it out, and then get the WSDL from here. And then you can use whatever tool you want. SoapPy, Postman, whatever. Main thing is for you to understand that Workday web services are publicly available. Right? Only thing is the security has to be sorted. Meaning we need to create a user, a system user, which can be shared just like we did for report. Right? And the difference that these SOAP APIs, which are publicly delivered, these have the request and the response messages because they are SOAP. But the one which we shared using custom report are REST. For that, there is no payload, no request, no response. You just have filters, which again is part of the same URL. And that's it. You mean REST, one we cannot expose in third party? Let's say if we are building any dashboard or tool. No, we can. The REST one also REST is the best one to share. Now one more thing is we don't, normally 90% of the time we don't share this. These web services reason for that. If you see, there is such a complicated thing here, right? And it asks for sometimes the IDs which are very both the specific. Right. In this one you have to specify the reference ID, supplier reference and all that. That kind of data is not known to any other system apart from Workday. Right? Because those are the IDs which are Workday specific. Those are automatically created by Workday. If the other system has to call this web service, we need to first provide them all those IDs. If you are using getSupplier1, you have to pass the supplier ID. Now how will that system knows what ID? Right? You need to share with them first all the IDs and all that they can populate this request and get the data. That's why we kind of create a custom report and then share it as an API that is more controlled. We can share what we want. But in this one, since it's work that delivered all the fields which are part of it will be shared. You cannot customize Workday web service, meaning safely in the response of this web service. You're getting 20 fields. Then that's a 20 fields will be shared. There is no way that you can remove 10 and only share rest of the 10. That's why 90% of the time these web services are not shared. It's kind of used internally within Workday Studio. Clear on this part of the web services, the Workday based web services which are available. And they are of what type they are. We have get which is used for fetching the data. And we have put submit and import for loading data into Workday. For some operations, put is available. For some, submit is available. Import is normally there for the bulk huge data loads, like say for loading accounting journals and all those stuff. Loading supplier invoices. We have import. Far on the concept report, when exposed as a web service is a REST web service. Always remember very important question report when shared is REST. But the Workday web services are right, which means that this can be opened or. That means that it can be that any software exists or access via browser. No additional software required. Right. But for SOAP, since it has a very specific request and response message, it needs extra handling like using SOAP UI kind of Workday custom reports are for REST. Those are exposed, then it is REST web surface. The Workday delivered ones are by default. Yep, and how do you find it? You can access it over the internet. Those are publicly available to understand any questions. Yes, no, absolutely MM. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.